everyone, so welcome back to my channel. Today's video is, as the title suggests, a holiday makeup look. I wanted to do something a little different. It's been a while since I've done sort of like a really strong sort of berry color on the eye, so I wanted to do that, and I wanted to keep it relatively affordable, so that's why I use Makeup Geek eyeshadows. They are hands down one of my favorite eyeshadows to use. I'm talking about the individual shadows, but I wanted to keep this very sort of berry. I wanted it to be very festive, very holiday, without doing the typical sorts of greens, because I've seen a lot of tutorials with green, but I wanted to do it very easy and not only affordable, but something that you can actually use even after the holidays are over. You could do this for New Year's if you wanted to. So I kept the color, the berry shade, really strong on the outer V, and then I did a little bit of a foiled sort of effect with my Makeup Geek Pigment in Sweet Dreams, which is a pretty champagne color, and it's not as intense worn dry, but when I foiled it with the Smashbox primer water, as you will see in the video, it definitely elevates the intensity of that pigment and just makes the eye sort of have a little bit more of a sparkle to it. You could put some glitter on it. That would be absolutely beautiful. I did put on false eyelashes, ones that I feel like are most comfortable for me, so do the same for yourself. Find a pair that you like, or skip it altogether if it's not something that you enjoy. So I like the way this look came out. It's a very full face tutorial as well. I did do a lot of sort of layering with some products and mixing foundations just to have a more smooth appearance of the skin, and also to have it more of a long wear, since the holidays are the time for festivities like dinners, parties, photographs. You're going to take lots of photos, so that's why I decided to kind of put on a powder foundation over my liquid, which typically I don't do on a regular basis, but for the holidays you got to make the exception. So I hope that you guys will enjoy this tutorial and this look as much as I do. I love it. I would wear this anytime really, and if you want to see how to do it, then keep watching. So I'm starting with a clean face. All I have is some moisturizer on, and I'm going in with the CoverFx Mattifying Primer. This is the one that has the acne salicylic acid in it, and I got the sample from Sephora. I believe it's been a while now, and I'm just now getting to use it. It's kind of has a bit of a silicone-y feel. I'm not really sure how I'm feeling about it, but that's just the one that I'm testing out at the moment. And then I'm going to go in with my foundations. I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible mixed in with my Ultra HD by Makeup Forever. And both of these are really good foundations. If you're looking for one that's more medium to buildable coverage that looks very natural, I would say the Makeup Forever is for you. If you are oily like I am, definitely give that L'Oreal Pro Matte a try because it's great. And here I'm buffing everything in with my go-to brush, which is the Eco Tools Dome Bronzer Brush. It is freaking phenomenal for foundation because it doesn't soak up a lot of your product. It's got some densely packed bristles, so it buffs in everything. I feel like I get a much more fuller coverage using this brush, and it's just because I'm using all of the product and I'm not wasting, and I feel like it just sort of blends everything. So once I have everything blended really well with that brush, I'm going to apply some, or I already have some of this on, this Smashbox 24-hour primer, because I have oily lids, and if I don't, it's going to be one hot mess. And then I like to get rid of that sort of tacky feel that a primer has with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. This makes such a difference, you guys. It's like night and day. Your shadows will blend so much better. They won't get patchy. They won't cling to certain spots or anything. You have to try it. Then I'm going into the brows, and I start by combing them through and then taking my NYX micro brow pencil and filling in the sparse little spots that I have. I start on the other side and then go on the upper side. I do have some sparse areas because of the fact that I have overplucked and have waxed a little too much off. So words to the wise, do not use a magnified mirror at all costs to do your brows, because that is how I ended up with baldy spots. Anyways, I use the Micro Brow by NYX, and it's in the shade Ash Brown. And this is supposed to be a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills pencil. I don't know exactly the full name of that one, but it's a good one as well. And then I like to go in with some powder. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Medium Brown Powder Duo. I start with the lightest shade, fill in most of my brow, and then with the darker color I go on the underside and my tail end just to kind of fill in everything. And here I'm just using one of those little brow marker doodads. I don't know what they're called. This is a new one from Catrice that I got from Ulta, but I'm basically putting in little hair strokes where I have a bald spot so that you can't really tell. Sort of faking it till I make it, till hair grows in, I guess. You've got to set everything with some brow gel, especially if you have longer brow hairs like I do. They have a mind of their own. Trust me, Anastasia Clear Brow Gel is the way to go. They will stay put and not move. It's really great stuff because it doesn't give you that crunchy brow and it doesn't look kind of white and crazy. It's a good brow gel. And the brush that I'm using to sort of clean around my brows is the Mikasa Beauty E220, and it's basically a concealer brush that I'm using for that step. Alright, so moving on to the eyes, I'm taking Vanilla Bean by Makeup Geek on a Sigma E25 brush, and I'm applying that all over the lid, all the way up to the brow bone. And this is, again, kind of like the same step that I did with my translucent setting powder, just with a shadow. Either one would work just fine. And then I'm taking the color Barcelona Beach, which is a very cool, sort of grayish brown color, again with the same E25 from Sigma Beauty. And I'm going to be applying that to my crease area. This is going to be what's called your transition shade. It's going to be the lightest of your crease colors, and you want to put this down first so that when you go in with darker shades, they blend out easier, and you have sort of like an ombre effect where you have a dark shadow and then it sort of fades up to lighter and lighter up to your brow bone, which is your lightest shade, obviously. So just sort of apply it to your crease. If you don't have this color, you can use just anything that you've got that's similar. Then taking the shade Latte by Makeup Geek. It's a little bit darker and just slightly more warm in comparison to Barcelona Beach, just to add a little bit of warmth to this look because I'm going to be using a really intense vibrant berry shade, so I just felt like it went well. You could keep it completely cool toned if you wanted to, just have a sort of mid-tone crease color that's a shade or two darker than your transition shade, and you will be alright. Hopefully that makes sense. And then I'm going back in with some more Barcelona Beach again with that same Sigma E25 brush and just adding some more just to create a little bit more depth and some richness to the eye, but also helping me blend out that latte shade. I'm switching to a more precise brush. This is the Zoeva 231 Luxe Petite Crease. It's a very pointed crease brush that has a really nice sort of tapered point, and I'm going to use that to sort of, you know, do some crease work and blending and stuff. But then here I'm going to start using the shade Bitten by Makeup Geek. It's a matte, deep berry shade. It's beautiful. So I'm going to use that 231 from Zoeva to start building up the outer V. Now for this step, it's going to take some blending just because it's a very intense, very potent shade. And you want to make sure that the most color that you apply is on the outer V and that it's really well blended around the edges, because it can look kind of crazy using a color like this. For me, for so many years, I was intimidated by this type of color until I started practicing and just being comfortable and confident in my own skills. So just, if you take anything from this video, if you're working with colors that you're not comfortable with, start with a little bit and sort of gradually deepen up that color or intensify it wherever it is, whether it's the lid, the crease, the outer V as you see here, until you get it where you feel most comfortable wearing it. Don't feel like you have to just dip your brush in there and pick up as much as you can and then go straight into the eye, because it can be difficult to blend. So this is what you should have if you're following along. You want the most color to be most potent on the outer V, and slowly just sort of wiggling that brush back and forth to create that depth on the outer V. And then I'm taking just a tiny bit of Cupcake, which is also matte. It's got a subtle kind of pinky, mauvey blush sort of tone, and I'm just going to run that just very lightly in the crease just to kind of add a touch of pink to it, just a little bit, and that is really all you need. Now I'm going in with the Barcelona Beach on a pencil brush. I believe that's the one from MAC, the 219. My holy grail pencil brush of all time. Love it. I'm going to start working on smoking out the lower lash line. It's something I feel like helps balance out this look. And then again, going in with Latte, which is slightly warmer and darker, with the same brush, and just applying it right over the Barcelona Beach color. And Now adding Mocha, which is a very intense chocolatey brown, also matte by Makeup Geek. And I'm using an angled liner brush from Coastal Scents. It came in a brush set that I ordered years ago. But any small detail brush. And what I'm doing is smudging that really close to the root of my lash, just to kind of add some darkness there, and of course blending. And I will come back to the lower lash line here in a little bit, but you want to make sure you blend, because I don't have concealer on, so this would be the step to blend and also clean up as you see me doing here. Now for the lid, this is the Makeup Geek Pigment, and this is one I mentioned earlier in the video that is very sort of soft and wearable. This is called Sweet Dreams. It's a pretty champagne-y nude, and I'm applying that to my lid with the Sonia Kashuk number 106 shadow brush. It is the best packing brush that I have tried so far. And I feel like the shape of it, the cut of the bristles really are perfect for applying any sort of pigment or densely packed shadow. And so what I'm doing here is I'm taking some pigment on the brush and I'm spritzing my brush that already has a product with the primer water from Smashbox, just so that I can foil it and intensify and make it more sparkly and just prettier. Now for some concealer. I'm using the Naked Skin Concealer by Urban Decay in the shade Light Medium Neutral. And applying this to the under eye, around the nose, above my lip, because I had some redness that day. And I also have tried this today to highlight, and I do like it. I think I need to go a shade lighter for more of a highlighted effect, but it works. It's a great concealer. I'm really enjoying it so far. Even though it's expensive as heck, it is good, and it blends in pretty easily. And what I'm using here is a Beauty Blender dupe. And I got it from Kohl's a few months back, and I think it was like $4 or $5 on sale, and it's by the brand Earth Therapeutics. And I guess I could do a video comparing that with the actual real Beauty Blender, because guess what? Mama got one. Hey! Next, I'm going to be setting my concealer. I'm using the same translucent powder, the Laura Mercier, and I'm going to be using the e.l.f. small tapered brush to apply that. It's a really great brush. It's $3, and it works really well for setting the under eye and other things that you could do with it as well. Then I'm going in with some black eyeliner. This one specifically is from Lancome. It's okay. Not my favorite, but I'm tight lining with it on the upper waterline just because I want to make sure that my lash line looks nice and thick and rich, because I will be using some false eyelashes here in a little bit. Then taking that same pencil and running it in my lower waterline just to create a smoky effect. I felt like it was kind of necessary with this look, and overall I think it looked really well. Usually I don't do black on the lower lash line, but you know, we're going for it. We're doing something different today. And then I'm going to smudge that out. And what I don't like about this is that it sets so incredibly fast that once it sets, it's not budging, and it's a long wear pencil. So I'm going to take that same Mocha shadow, and I'm going to be applying it, basically just smudging out the liner again and sort of making the edges a little less harsh if I can. For liner, I'm using this one by Stila. It's the Stay All Day liquid liner pen in black, and I ended up doing it thin here, but then I had to go back and thicken it because I kind of messed up on my false eyelashes. So, you know, I'm just making it work. And then FaceTime, going back to the foundation, I'm going to be setting it with the Makeup Forever Pro Finish Powder Foundation. And I wear shade number 120, by the way, just to let you know. I'll have it listed down below for you as well. It's a good one. I'm really enjoying it. For a powder, it's great. And then I'm using my oldie but goodie. I busted it out of the box. Yes, I had to. This bronzer, it's the Ultra Bronze by Makeup Revolution. Love it. And I'm using the the e.l.f. complexion brush to apply that. And I did a slight kind of contour with it. It looks a little patchy on here. I don't know what's going on. My lighting is kind of off as well. Ignore that. But it didn't look that way in person, I promise. It's a good one. I've talked about it in so many videos. You're probably sick of hearing me talk about Makeup Revolution because I've talked about it enough. It's a good brand. Give it a go. Then, of course, Makeup Revolution again. This is the matte blush in the shade Fusion, and it is a pretty kind of corally color. It's more bright looking than it actually is, but it's a really pretty color. I'm using the F200 by Mikasa Beauty to blend it out because I went a little ham with the blush. I'm not going to lie, I do it all the time. Can't help myself. I love blush. Moving on. Highlighting time. Woo! My favorite part. This is the Merry Luminizer by TheBalm, and I'm using an oversized shadow brush from Sonia Kashuk's holiday set. It's a 10-piece one.
Love this. Again, I went ham on it. I get too excited. I need to control myself. I'm a hot mess. So, in order to sort of tame this down a little bit, I busted out my beauty blender and tried to soften this out, and I also went back in with the F200 from Acosta Beauty, which is a smallish size stipple brush, because it was crazy. You could probably see me from outer space, not gonna lie. Now moving on to the lips, I'm using a nude lip liner from Too Faced. This is the Perfect Lips, I think, in the Perfect Nude. Yeah, Perfect Lips in the shade Perfect Nude. That's a mouthful. And then I'm going to go over all of that with my NYX High Voltage lipstick in the shade Stone, which is a very sort of taupey nude. Very different for me, but it's a very pretty color. I did go in and add the NYX Butter Gloss in Creme Brûlée just to add a bit of a glossy, sort of nudish tone to this. I don't know, I liked it. Then some lashes, number 45s by Salon Perfect.
That's it. That is the completed look. I hope that you guys love it. I love this look. I feel very comfortable wearing this. There's nothing about it that's too intense. There's nothing about it that's too technical for the everyday person not to be able to recreate this. So I liked it, and if you guys recreate this look, please let me know in the comment section how it turned out. If you take photos, please tag me in your photos. I'd love to see what you guys can recreate. If you have any other suggestions for future videos, let me know as well in the comment section. And I will not see you until after Christmas in my next video, so I hope you guys have a very happy time with your friends and family, wherever you are, whatever you do to celebrate the holiday. If you celebrate, I hope that it's a happy and safe one. Happy holidays to you guys, and you guys are just everything to me. I love you guys so much, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.